disclaimer as well. Anyway, guys, as you all know, my name is Umair Javed. I will be the co-moderator of today's session, and with me would be Rimsha, who's on my left. She might be on your right. Rimsha, could you do the standard awkward hand gesture? Yep, that's Rimsha. And our speaker today is Mr. Mazari. He's the guy with the big headphones and funky glasses. And he will be the main person behind today's session. So I just want to, as you guys already know, I mean, it's our fifth consecutive session on every weekend webinar. Today's session is going to be about HTML and CSS. And basically what we'll be trying to explain to all of you guys is that how easy it is for normal people who have zero tech background to make their own websites. Wow, I hope the internet's working because all of you guys are frozen in front of my screen. Anyway, I think I'll just keep on going. So for the, I think it's important to go through how we're going to be addressing today's questions. So if you guys have any questions regarding today's session, you guys can simply unmute your mics and ask our generous speaker, Mr. Mazali, right there and then. He doesn't mind disruptions. He's a very disruptive sort of personality. But if you guys prefer the chat window, that's also something which then either myself or Rimsha would forward your questions to Maz. And apart from that, I think a little bit about A-Clan and A for Youth, where let's just say with the cool gang, we sort of do a little bit of everything. We've got a remote workforce, we work from home. We're the sort of people who people look up to. We're following with our laptops, going everywhere, you know, in cool, presentable clothes. So people aspire to be us, and we aspire to inspire, basically. Today's session is also sponsored by Colabs, which is a cool co-working space based in Lahore. We're affiliated with them as well. They're really cool folks. In regards to today's session, the good thing about Colabs is since it's a co-working space, they've got all sorts of offices, desks where a lot of freelancers, a lot of cool community people, they come up. So they've got a good network. So if you guys are looking for a place to work, a place to, you know, set your business or, you know, to establish a setup, I think Colabs is an amazing place. So this is a shout out to them. They're a cool team as well, almost as cool as us. And I think with that, I'm done with my script, which I just made in my head. I think with that, I'll hand over the virtual mic, which is a pen in this case, to Maz Ali, who's on my bottom left. Maz, the stage is all yours. You may now proceed.
Thank you, Mayor, for giving me this webinar. So let me share my screen then, and let's get started with the webinar. Can you guys enable my screen sharing? Or make me the host of the meeting?
No, we're thinking about it. Oh yeah, I think that's fine. You're allowed to share your screen.
Yeah, that might take a few seconds.
No worries, you can start off with your name and a basic introduction. I think people are dying to know who you are.
I am, I've seen pictures engineer in Amsterdam. Okay, so let me share my screen. You guys can share my screen? Yep. See my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, Maz.
We can see it.
Let me do that again, just a sec. Okay, so cool. So that's me. You can actually play that. Yeah, so about me, I'm Mazali. Just told you, I am software front-end engineer at Trip Actions, and I'm an aspiring developer as well as wannabe travel. We actually moved to Amsterdam this year. I wanted to explore the European lands, but thanks to COVID, I'm stuck inside.
We
So
feel
yeah,
your pain.
that's
We feel your pain.
yeah, that's about myself.
Yeah, okay. Same.
Yeah, so today's agenda, let's quickly go through what we are going to talk about today. I guess as the webinar title says that we're going to talk about HTML and CSS. We'll quickly, have a shallow dive into programmers world, like what we program every day, but it won't be a very deep dive, so you don't have to worry about. You can, say to other people that you know programming, but yeah, I mean, you will have an overview of how websites work in your browser. Then we'll move to the personal websites, how to create your own very basic personal website. And then we'll come to HTML theme templates as well, how we can actually edit all these theme templates, where we don't have to do a lot of coding, but just to edit already made templates. So yeah, if we want to, understand what is HTML, CSS, and there is another guy as well, which is called JS. It's JavaScript, which is the most difficult part of three of them. So yeah, let's focus on two right now, which is HTML and CSS. So as this picture represents, that HTML is only the structure of, let's say, a website. So all of these actually, create a whole website, but only the bones and the structure is called HTML. And all the clothing upon it, just like skin and colors and everything nice added to your structure, is added by CSS. But all the brains behind, how the website works is actually coded in JavaScript. So every website that you use in your daily basis, like even if it's facebook.com, any other website that you use, either it's made in different frameworks. It's like you have heard about WordPress. We had a webinar about WordPress as well. Uh, those are all tools to create these websites, but all of these websites at the end of the day are, converted into these three elements, which is HTML, CSS, and CSS. So even if you create a website in WordPress, the WordPress will convert its code to these three basic things, because this is what your browser can understand, right? So let's maybe dive into HTML first. So what is HTML? That's a bit boring slide, but believe me, there is a lot more to come. So just bear with me with all this text. HTML actually stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You don't really need to remember that. It is a markup language for creating web applications. I already told you that it is actually used to build the very structure of web pages. It's like the pillars of web pages, and pillars need to be then modified to look cool and to look, beautiful. But only cemented pillars can be taken as HTML. So HTML documents can have this extension called .html. Every HTML file has that extension. And then HTML is kind of based upon these tags, what we called HTML elements as well. They are the basic building blocks of our structure. And the first HTML tag starts with HTML, and it has these, you can say, arrows around it. And yeah, another tag can be like title. And yeah, let's go to the next slide and see what structure looks like. So you guys all have seen, let's say we take an example of newspaper. You see there is a whole design in the newspaper. There are small text, there is larger text, there are images, and the same actually goes in websites as well. Like every website has a very basic design, and it has a title, a subtitle, a description, and some images as well. So a very basic example of this design can be taken from a newspaper. And then we can come to our Word documents. We all have used Microsoft Word, right? So we know how these headings are maintained, how these subtitles are maintained, and how these paragraphs are maintained, right? I guess it's kind of same in web pages as well. You can actually convert your whole PDF or Word documents to a website. It's very simple, and even the whole newspapers as well. So when we come to how HTML works, so I told you that now we are actually going through the code. HTML starts with the very basic HTML tags. So HTML, you see there is an opening tag and then there is a closing tag for HTML. So every opening tag has to has a closing tag as well. There cannot be a tag without a closing tag, because that will be like an open tag, and unless it's closed, like even one tag is not closed, it's gonna mess up the design of the whole structure. So every tag has to has closing tag as well. Yes, sir. I can't hear you, Umar, if you're talking.
Wow,
Oh,
that
man,
was
your mic's
pretty
off,
embarrassing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
new, technically, but sure.
Anyway, so I was just repeating the point. So basically, I think what Maz, correct me if I'm wrong. So like the one on top which says HTML highlighted by green, that's being closed by the bottommost tab which says slash HTML. So that's the
Yeah.
closing tab of the first one. And within
Yeah.
that, we have another body which says, the starting tab is on top, and then within that, at the bottom, you've got um, the closing of the body. So every bit of this code is between this container, right?
Yeah. So you can take these as squares or rectangles. Like you
Yeah.
see these tags actually make up a whole container. It has a whole borderline. So no two containers can actually overlap each other. So there can be a container within a container, but there can't be a container outside the, like there can be, let's say, I cannot take the closing tag of body outside HTML, because then there
Makes
will
sense.
be overlapping of these blocks.
So within
So
them,
yeah,
a
it's
block
just
can
like a
only
simple
exist
box
within a block. Makes sense.
within a block. Yeah, so this is called nesting of these elements. Just like you see that first there is HTML, then comes the body, and inside body you can have multiple tags, but they cannot be overlapping each other. And inside tags you can have more tag inside as well. So yeah, here it's like the same thing that we actually saw in the newspaper as well. There is H1, which is kind of showing the heading. This is the main heading, and then there is a P tag, which is actually representing a paragraph. And then there is an H2 tag, which is another heading, and then a P tag, which is paragraph. So yeah, let's take a closer look at what tags are like. So you see there is a left angle bracket, which actually starts the tag.
Yeah.
And then you see the character, which is actually representing, like H represents a heading, P represents a paragraph, and then you
Paragraph for
have to
text,
close
right?
it. Yeah, paragraph for
Paragraph is
text,
for text.
just like
Okay.
normal text, yeah.
Okay.
And it is called an opening tag, and then there is a closing tag. Closing tag has one more thing, which is called forward slash, and it kind of closes the opening tag. And yeah, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. If you guys want to know more about it, let me know. Yeah, okay, so let's move to some real code. So on the left-hand side, you can see an HTML block of code, and you see there inside HTML tag, you have a head tag, which is also being closed. And inside head, you have a title tag, which contains the title text, and it closes as well. The same goes in the body text as well. You have a H1 heading and then a paragraph text. So the result of this code, this simple code, will be on the right side. So you can see the H1 tag actually shows a very big heading on the top, and the paragraph is like very simple text. So just like we saw in Microsoft Word documents as well, there are headings, there are paragraphs. It's the same here as well. And yeah, I mean, it will actually, change the font size itself just based on those tags. Uh, and you can see the title tag because title tag is more, it's not in the page, like only the body of the page is shown on your screen. The title is what you actually see in. I can actually give you an example of this. If you guys, if I open my Chrome, so you see this HTML style CSS. This is a title tag. So whenever you
Yeah.
change something in title and the head part is only this part. And you can actually change this icon as well. So you see all these icons and these tags here. It's actually coming from the head tag.
Yeah.
And all the body is actually this part. So body starts from here and the head actually stops here. So yeah, this is a very basic example, and we can actually
Max,
see that. Yeah.
I just have a question about this. So,
Mhm.
when we write the H1 in the heading in the paragraph, how do we change the font and like font size and the font type and everything like that?
Yeah, so what you
H
do
or B or
is,
anything, or yeah, or like one or two.
yeah, so let me just show you. So you simply have to do, let's say I am a noob, I don't know anything about it. So what you do, type on your browser, you say HTML H tag, right? So it will show you that there are HTML H1 to H6 tags.
Okay.
So this is all heading. So we are going to use W3 Schools for today's learning as well, because it's a really cool tool for basic understanding of HTML. And this shows that there are like 6 tags and everyone has its own heading. When we try it ourselves, it will actually show you that, you know, it will actually open up a whole editor for you, and here you can
Yeah.
actually see the difference. When you use H1, it uses fonts, the bigger font. When you use H2, it's like a bit smaller. You know, it's
goes
it
down.
becomes more text to be bold. You simply use want to have something here. So I have to put, so
Fair enough.
what I can do is this, like I cannot use closing tag here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is wrong because you see I am overlapping a tag. It's not tag inside a tag. So the proper nesting would be if I put this inside B. So I can change any text here and then run the code and you will see the result here. So we are gonna use more of this as we progress with our slides. Um,
Fair enough. Yeah.
okay, so next up is link tags. So this is another type of tag, just like we saw these edge tags, which are like simple text tags. A tag is more like a link tag, and links are created using the A element, and these are used to actually, in buttons as well. A is used as a button as well, and there is another tag button for buttons as well. But buttons and these A tags are called link tags because they actually refer to another website. So if you click A, it's going to take you to another page, and then you actually specify. So href is called an attribute of a tag. So these attributes exist inside the opening and the closing brackets with the tag name, with the opening tag. It does not, it has to be inside the opening tag, and then href is like you have to, you simply define where you want to this link to go. And if we want to go to imdb.com, it will take us, it will actually open up a new new tab for us, and we can actually go to this. So we are gonna look into it after seeing these image tags as well. So in image tags, we have a source attribute, which actually takes up an image from the source file. So we actually give the path of the image file in the source attribute, and the img tag will actually load the image for you. So let's go back to our editor and see where we can actually, so when you come here in the HTML tags, you can actually find dozens of these HTML tags, and you don't have to do everything. Like I was already telling you that this button is like a button tag, just like this. Try it yourself. This is a button tag as well. So there are tags for every kind of, you can say, thing. Let's go to link tag that we just saw. So it's here. So what we actually saw is that there is a link tag which has an href attribute. This is called attribute. And here you can actually define where you want to go, and it will it will create a link for you. So if I click this link, it will open up a whole website for me. Or I can, change this link as well. If I say I want to go to aclan.com and then run it, it will not take me to aclan.com because, yeah, it might be different as well.
No, because we don't have this domain name, Mars.
Really? What's your domain name? aclan.co?
Yeah, it's aclan.co.
but it's not still not taking me.
Yeah, because Bilal is a very bad CTO. So
No, it
yeah,
actually opened up.
there
Yeah,
it is.
not bad, not bad. So yeah, it's like the link tag, and we can actually point to any website we want, and we can actually open it in a new tab as well, but we have to define some other attributes. So
Maz, if I may, like open any website but Eklan.
I mean, you can tell me. I'm not a very creative guy, so I can't think of a very random website. Let's say youtube.com.
Yeah, YouTube would do.
And we
Eklan is a
can,
work in progress right now, so
well, so it has to do with this editor as well, because this editor actually opens up a new website inside its own editing. It's like another web browser inside the web browser. So yeah, we can actually, let's say, copy this, and let's create a new file here. We can actually, so for editing these HTML documents, we normally use a Sublime text, which is used for creating these files. We can create a new file here, and then we can paste all this code that we have, and then we can actually save it. Let's say that we say index.html. Wow, no. So I'll save it on desktop. Yeah, so you see that we have an index.html file here. And when you click on that index.html file, it opens up a whole web browser for me. And here you can see the link as well. So what we were trying to do here was this whole browser screen. It's like a browser within a browser, which is there for having a quick test. But we can actually copy this code and paste it in an index.html file, and then run that index.html file in our browsers as well. So here you see you can say pointing to desktop index.html file. If you do any change here, so you have to edit this file with, let's say I do it with Sublime text. I change the heading, easy websites, feed HTML, CSS. So I added H1, and then let's say we have YouTube link. So you save this file here, and you refresh this simple document, and you can see the new results. Now what's actually cool is to inspect this file here. So I guess you all use Google Chrome, and when you right click on your Chrome window, you can actually see this inspect element. And when you open it, it will actually open something like this. So here you can actually see these elements, and whatever we actually had here, it is represented here as well. So you see there is an HTML tag, then there is a head tag, then there is a body tag, and a H1 tag, and a A link tag. So when you actually see these tags, and when I'm pointing on the body tag, it is actually highlighting this whole area for me, which actually shows that this is the whole rectangle. So HTML tag is the whole rectangle. Then inside it, the body tag is the rectangle as well. So it is a whole box. It's not like you can say out of the box. Like everything inside, just as I told you here as well, everything in HTML works like boxes, and there has to be nested boxes. So this is what we see here as well. So when we go to this, we see a box as well for this. And then for link tag, we actually see the link tag box as well. So yeah, let's move with the slides first and then come back to more practical examples. Now let's come to maybe CSS right now. So CSS, you guys have heard about it, and I told you that it's, to make our structure more beautiful and to add clothes on a simple bone structure, we have to use CSS. So all the colors that you see in your websites and sorry guys, before moving forward with CSS, I don't know if there were any questions. Rimsha, can you let me know? Because yeah, I just realized that when you are presenting, you can't actually see the comment section.
No worries. I think there's no question so far. People seem to
Okay,
understand.
cool. Yeah, I guess I'm a very good presenter, or people are just noobs.
I think it's
So,
either of
yeah.
the two. I'll just have a voting towards the end, but I'll be biased. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Same. I swear.
Okay, cool. So yeah, are you understanding, or what's your input, Rimsha? Is it like, do you know what HTML is right now, or do you need more in-depth knowledge of it? Yeah.
No, it's pretty clear, except I just didn't understand the HTTPS part. Like, is it just the link, or is that like what's the main difference between them? I didn't understand that.
Okay, so you're talking about HTTPS.
Yeah.
So let's say I don't want to go to YouTube right now, not even Facebook. So yeah, suggest me any website.
YouTube.com. I just want to see your questionable recommendations.
No, I don't want to show them to you.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So let's go to W3 Schools.
Yeah.
I
So
can
you
I can
see
give you a
W3
website.
Schools. So
Yeah.
when you actually are browsing any website, you are actually seeing this lock icon here with every URL. So this lock actually shows you
Yeah.
that this connection is secure. So it has a whole certificate, it has
Okay.
cookies, it has other things as well. So this is kind of you can say more network protocols thing, where your website has to be secure. And HTTPS actually represents when you copy this URL and you, let's say, paste this here. I can paste this here. So it will actually show me HTTPS, right? Whenever you can copy any URL and it will actually copy HTTPS with it, because this is the hidden part. Like everything before W3 Schools is hidden in there. But when you copy it, Control C, Control V, you will actually see that part as well. But
Yeah.
if, let's say, I go to aclan.co, yeah, this is secure as well. But let me go to my own website. So this is my own website, and it is here showing that your connection to this site is not secure. So when I copy this website here, and let's say post, I paste this, it actually shows me that S is gone. So S is for the security. So
Yeah.
if
Oh.
your website
Oh
is
wow.
secure, then it will actually show HTTPS. It's
But what
another
does secure
protocol.
mean? As in, is it secure from hackers or secure from what?
Yeah.
Secure from you, I guess. Yeah. So
But I'm not the one who has a website which says that it's not secure.
yeah. So the thing is that your all your communication is encrypted from end
Oh,
to end. So whatever packets are being sent from this website to the server are being encrypted. So the
packets of
middleman cannot,
information, right?
yeah,
Or
packets
like
of
biscuits.
information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to understand. But in layman terms, whatever is going through your Wi-Fi router, either it's
Yeah.
encrypted or it's simple text. So if it's simple text, like this website, it's just simple
Can
text
you
going
check this
through your
website which I
router.
just sent you? Can you check this website which I just sent you? Is it secure or not in the chat?
Um, where is the chat? Let me see first. Yeah, I can see the chat now. The useless web? Okay. Yeah, this is secure.
Oh, okay. Can you click on please? Okay. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. So yeah,
Interesting.
since we are here at a very useless website, let's inspect here. So what's cool, or maybe I can do it later. So let's come to CSS part first. Let's get done with the boring stuff. What is CSS? CSS is cascade styling sheets. It makes your web pages more attractive. Key to understanding how CSS works is to imagine that there is an invisible box around every HTML. So I told you that every HTML tag is a box. So when you apply the CSS to an HTML tag, it will actually apply it to the whole box. So CSS documents are files with CSS extensions. Just like we had .html file, we can have CSS files as well. CSS associates with every HTML element or tag. So let's say that we had a p tag. So if we want to define a font family, like what kind of font we are going to use in our website. So you see different kind of fonts for every, let's say, the heading has a different font and your paragraph has a different font. So you can actually, change your font family here. For H1, H2, H3, it will be a different font family, and for P, it can be a different font family as well. So these fonts are kind of same what you use. Let's say Arial is very common when you are using your Microsoft Word documents. Like we all made assignments, we all tried to make them pretty, right? With all these fonts and sizes, uh, uh, font families and font sizes as well. So we all know that what Arial is. And then let's say you want to change the color of this text, which is being displayed in this H1 tag. We can actually change that color with like simple color colon yellow. So you have to specify a property and then the value of that property in CSS. Let's get back to it when we go more in depth. So here you can actually see that we had like H1 element and then P element. So for or body element as well. So a body element is the most, you can say, parent element of all these child elements. So if we actually provide something like here we have actually set the background color for the body. So for the body you will actually see this background color in your whole web screen, because body is like the most parent element. So this background color will be on the background of every child element of the body. So yeah, there are CSS selectors. So here there is another HTML tag which is called div. So div is a very, you can say, basic HTML tag which doesn't do anything. it's just a very closing bracket. Like it's very basic building block of HTML. It doesn't add anything to your text. Like we saw that h1 tag actually changes the font uh, size of your text, but div does not do anything to your text or anything like that. So we actually added a class to div. So a class is another attribute. It is like a name of the element, like a class name. We use the class names to actually, point to that tag in CSS files. So CSS files, either you can use simple, you can say tag names like body and p and h1. But the problem with that is that in one website, you have hundreds of h1s and p tags, right? So if you want every p tag to be styled differently, you have to add a class to it. So every class, you can actually name it yourself, and then you can point to that class in CSS. So let's show that in practical examples because it's more understandable there. One thing I want you guys to understand here is that we talked a lot about box. So CSS actually works on the whole box as well. So for every HTML tag, there is content inside it. The content has a height and a width, right? So we can add padding. Padding is like space between between the content and the border. So you actually have seen in the websites, you actually can see the borders as well. So if you want your content to have space from the border, you actually add padding. And if you want your border to have space with the outer elements, you actually add margin. So we will understand this later as well. Let's go to hands-on practice. So yeah, let's start with the very basic website that we actually started doing. And yeah, so maybe we can go here as well. So in here, we can actually see these inline CSS as well. Let's try this, right? So what it says is, do you guys prefer to do it here, or if I should, do changes in this file? What do you guys prefer?
I think this file works because people are following it from the start.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Just by
in
the
this
way,
editor,
we are 45 minutes into the session, so
okay,
yeah, that's
sorry.
just a time reminder from team moderator.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, so here you can actually see that, yeah. Let's close this tab. Here you can actually see that on the body tag. So we actually added a style tag here as well in the head element. So all these styles go in the head element. And then body is actual structure. So here you can actually see that in the body we have, this is a heading, this is a paragraph, and then the parent element, which is body. So for body, we actually provided a background color, which was powder blue. We can do it blue as well. Let's do blue, and then it will be like this. But yeah, we can do gray as well. Yeah, cool. So for H1, so background color is your background color, but simple. So let's change this one and add a background color to it as well. When you this but so yeah, if we let's move to the bigger examples more fast because yeah, I will close the session as well. So let's go or yeah, take me to another useless website, staggeringbeauty.com. Oh.
Try shaking your mouse.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, let's do this endless horse, how it's being made. So what you see here is that inside a body tag, he had a div tag, and the div tag, which is in the center, was actually, so whenever we want to change this website, the style of this website, we will use CSS, right? So you still haven't seen this side, this right side of all these HTML elements. So here you can actually see that these are kind of same properties which we saw in CSS tags, right? So it is the same color, it is the same box model that I've shown you before. It actually shows that this is your content, this is the padding that we applied. There is no border to it, but there is margin on the left and right side as well. So let's say that you see this padding top 2222 pixels. So px is used as pixels in the web programming. And if I remove this, it will actually go to the top. And if I move this, it will actually stay in the center. So this is a very simple example of how you want to show things. If I add here some color, it will actually change the color of this horse. So yeah, everything inside this div horse element will be changed if I change the color of the parent element. So here you actually saw that this was all text as well, right? And if you change the color, if I change background color as well, let's say so I need to add background color property, and then I can choose any color. So now you can actually see, you can say the background as well. And everything outside of this is not having background color because it is margins. So you see there is, let's add the border to it as well. Border is 5px. It's just a unit that you use, and 5px solid, yellow. So now you see that there is a border as well. You can actually change this color as well. Let's leave it for now. And yeah, let's come back to this one. So here is your text. Here we only added padding to the top of the content. and then you have a border on every side. You can have border on one side, on two sides, three sides, or on the four sides. And then you have a margin as well. So you see the margin on the right and left side is 517, 517, but there is no margin on top or on the right. So everything outside border is not colored. It is only margin, and everything inside border is like colored. So this is kind of, if you go to any website, like very complex websites as well, it will all be made of these HTML tags, but there will be more, you can say. You see all these href tags are the same, all these link tags, then there are other div tags, and it's just a mess of these tags. And yeah, let's go to our own website now. We wanted to create our own personal websites, right? That was the whole purpose of this website, this webinar. And let's come to my website first. This is my own personal website that I actually didn't update after I got the job. Like, it's showing my resume, but it's still not updated. And yeah, I actually left this company. And yeah, so how do you actually, have this? If I want to go to my portfolio, you can see my projects. It's like a one-pager website. So there are different kind of websites. In some cases, you can say you have multiple pages, but I prefer that I have only one page where I can just scroll and go to the end. And yeah, how do you actually create your own personal website? So you actually learn all these basics of website building, but actually you don't have to code uh, on your own, right? So you can simply search, let's say, for single page application, or let's say single page website templates, and you can add HTML to it, or you can add personal to it as well. So it will actually show you there are a lot of websites out there which will actually give you a lot of examples. Here you can download as well. So there are a lot of free websites as well as there are paid websites as well. But it is, believe me, it is not that expensive. It's mostly $8 to $10 for HTML website, and I prefer to actually pay $8 for my website, which is gonna be mine forever. And yeah, so here you can actually choose your own portfolio website or resume website or any kind of website. I prefer to go to Theme Forest as well, themeforest.net. It is a good template website. So here you can actually go to HTML, like you all are familiar with HTML now. So it's like it's selling WordPress themes as well as other website templates as well. But right now we don't want to go for WordPress websites. We want to go for HTML templates. So here you can find personal templates as well, or if you want to have like other entertainment or creative templates, you can actually search these. Here, yeah, let's see, this is like personal portfolio and it is only $12. And yeah, I mean, we already spend a lot of money in online buying. So I guess this is a really good opportunity.
Can we look up a free one so that we can quickly go through how simple it is to actually edit this?
Yeah, so so my own website was a paid one. I downloaded that,
Wow,
and
very expensive.
yeah, very expensive. I'm a rich guy. So yeah, let's open that here. So this is a template that I actually downloaded, and I can show you. So when you download any template, it will actually show you index.html page, and this is where you start. So this index.html page will actually, since this is a one-pager website, you will actually find all the information in this index.html page, and then you don't have to worry about all these other information that is in there. You just have to edit this index.html page. I actually opened this in Sublime Text, so I'm gonna open the index.html page here. You guys can see my
Oh,
screen,
and
right?
what is Sublime Text?
Sublime Text is a code editor that we are using to edit this code. So you can do it in Notepad as well, but yeah, I mean, I prefer Sublime Text is free as well. So you can just download it if you want to change anything. So here, what we already learned, there are a lot of tags, and every tag has an opening and a closing tag as well. And now we have the basic understanding of how these tabs work, but we don't really have to do everything here. So if I open this index.html, let's reveal and find it. When I actually it looked like this, right? And then I added all my own information in it, and just like that, I was able to, have my own website. So here you can see John Anderson, the subtitle, and all this information here. When you come here, you just have to find this text. So what this says is, and then I'm gonna just refresh the page, and it shows that my name. So all these animations, everything that this website has, you don't have to develop it. You just have to simply change this text and the images in it, and this website is all yours. And you can deploy it anywhere in your domain. And yeah, I mean, you are live. So you see, I told you that there are href tags as well. So let's say I am changing this, and I am changing my email address as well. So that's why I wanted to give you some basic understanding of these tags. So let's say that uh, this is my email, and now I don't want to just change the text of this email. I want to change the href tag of this as well. So this says that you mail to mail@mail.com. So if I put my own email address here as well, and same goes for, let's say, if I use this phone text as well, and then it shows that in href, it actually says that telephone to this guy, but I want to replace it both at both of these places. And let's say I save it and refresh this page. So now when you see this accessmastery@gmail.com, when you click on it, it will actually take me to a new email page and have my so this is coming from here. So this was the simple text, and this was where you wanted it to go. So it already has my email address in the recipient box. And yeah, The same goes for this as well. It will actually make a call to my number. And yeah, same goes for these Facebook and LinkedIn and GitHub profiles as well. So here you can actually personal social website. So you see this GitHub, LinkedIn, and Facebook Square, they have href tags empty right now. So let's say that I want to have my GitHub linked here. All right, let's not do the Facebook right now, but yeah, I can do and I want to
As we
have,
have a few questions.
yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah, yes,
we
sorry,
have
you're breaking up.
questions.
Yeah, you were breaking up. Let's.
Maz, we have a few questions in there by Maham Hassan as well as Magda. If you could have a look at those as
Okay.
well.
Okay,
We were
cool.
waiting for a relevant time to come up, but I think now's a good time. People can see your old weird picture as well while you answer the questions. So that's
Yeah, let's change it first then. Okay, so basically HTML is to build the website and CSS. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So she asked that what if we want to have a middle aligned text? So let's say that you have this paragraph and you want it to be middle aligned, or you have your heading. You guys can see, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Text align. So we have a property called text align, and we can do center here. And yeah, this is like very simple thing. Whatever you need to do, let's say you want, I want, or you can say CSS text center, right? You just have to do this, and it will actually take you to this text line property. It will actually tell you that you can, text line center, left, right, justify, whatever you ask Google, it will actually show up in w3schools.com. And there are a lot of properties. We are not gonna, touch base on all of them. Like we touch base on a few of them, like align, text align, background color, simple color, borders. There is border bottom, border top, like all these properties are there. You just have to, type your question in the Google, and it's gonna come up. Yeah, let me see how can I. Hmm. What is the difference between padding and margin? So the line, so I told you that I want this background color to be white. And then which is 5px right now. Let's do 2px, solid, and so padding, then and when you come here, like I told you that content, which is called this is heading, right? Then you have a padding, which is like the space between border and your content. Then you come up with the border, which is a very thin line because it is only 2 pixels. We can do 10 pixels as well, which will be a very wide border. And then you have a margin, which is outside of the border. So just like this, you can actually have, let's say, here 70 pixels here, and here as well. So you can actually, do stuff with it yourself as well, like play with it or from our own work selection. Mm, you should. We were and we just have to hrefs, which I told you it's used for website linking as well. Uh, in front of keyword, which will work automatically for you. And I was telling you about this ahref tag. So I have, let's say, this GitHub account of me. Here, and I save it to the GitHub page. The same tag can be done for and replace. I have to. I can. Then you have this again, this ahref tag, which was you the text is like too small for you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's placed on the internet, and then you can have download CV as well. Or if you don't want to have this option, so whenever you want to take something tag to the opening tag, you will see that there is no download CV. So you can take things out of template, you can put more things in it. You can, let's say that here, I want to add, let's say I have 3 sections here. If I want to I add more sections. So let's say that this is row, and then we saw this is the parent container, but yeah, inside this container we have this education, university, this is all repeated, right? Resume list underscore block. So you actually see the patterns here. This block of text is repeated 3 times here. So either I can actually remove one of these parts? No, so you have to take care of this, that you actually take out the opening and the closing brackets as well. When you take this out, you will actually see only two sections here. Oh no, we didn't save it. So you have to save it and then you see this, right? But let's say that I want this back and I want actually more of it. So I want to add one more section. I am a really PhD scholar and I want to add more education here. So now when you save it, you will see another section and then you can edit that section as well. So all the styling is being managed for you. Like you see, this is not disconnected unless you don't mess up this HTML. If you do mess up this HTML, then you can just simply undo it and make sure that you, whatever you are taking out or putting in, it has to be proper from an opening tag to an ending tag or closing tag. It does not, mess up the structure of this whole element, because let's say that you mess up this only one closing tag here, right? I took this out and let's say I save it and then I refresh it. Oh, it's doing nothing. Yeah, okay, so it is taken care, it has taken care of this as well, that if you mess up this thing, it's not gonna break everything, but normally it does. Yeah, you see here, this is messed up. So that's why you don't take any extra tag out of it. And yeah. Okay, cool, guys. Any other questions? Like we are back to our basic template. The same goes here as well. For these images, if you want to change these, sorry, we are out of time. Like, if you guys want me to continue, I can actually wind up everything in like maximum 5-10 minutes. And
Mark,
I'm
let's
just gonna
try towards winding up as well. And if anyone has any questions, obviously the chat window is
yeah.
open.
Yeah, more. Let me know if there are more questions. So when you come to this folder, we had index.html file here and assets here. So in the assets folder, we have an image folder as well. So this contains the images for whole of your website, and whatever you are seeing here is actually coming from this image folder inside your theme. And let's go to this image tag. So you see here, there is an image tag, and I already told you that in the source attribute, we actually tell the path of the source file. So let's say that for this portfolio, for the first portfolio, I want to have my own image. And let's pick any image like this one. I'm gonna paste it here. And the simplest thing what I can do is check out this image. Which image is this one? Like, I guess it is this one. Or this one, yeah, right? So what I can do is I can actually, I guess we should rename this one. project1.jpg. So you come to your code, you come here. So inside image, you actually put project1.jpg. You save this. you refresh your page, and then you see that image here. So it's just as simple as that. You just have to put an image. You remember that what was the name of that image, and then you, instead of having these images which were already there, you just post your own images inside the image folder, and then point to those images.
Can
And
you
just like I
also
told
like
you,
link images of like from certain websites?
yeah, you can.
So
So
I don't have to download them and then paste them on my laptop and then link them. I can put a link on them as well.
yeah, I mean, I can just simply take out, let's say, this image. I want to open image in new tab. This is like a very long link for this image, let's say. But yeah, so you
So
have
you
to
replace all of
remove
it.
this whole, all of it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very long. Shit.
Oh wow. I think very long was an understatement.
Yeah, that yeah, that might,
I think
uh,
it's bigger than the size of the image.
but you see, but your image is here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to find some proper images, uh, or if you don't, you just simply download them, rename them to whatever you feel like, and then
So
use
it'll
them.
directly, when you load the website, it is going to extract this image from another website and paste it on your website.
Yeah, that's true. And same goes for these links as well. I already told you that you can simply, so just like what I did with my own website. Um, oh, it's not loading. So yeah, the same goes for this section as well. I normally didn't like it. You won't see this blog section, I guess. This blog section and this testimonial sections as well. So here you can see that it is actually showing you that here, this is where the blog sections ends and this is where it starts. And the same goes for testimonials as well. So since I didn't want it, I just, delete it here. And then when I refresh it, all of the blogs are gone. And the same can go for testimonials as well. If there is extra information in there and I don't want it, so you see this in the testimonial section, you have this slider as well. This is already implemented for you. You just have to change, the text inside this testimonials. Or if you don't want to have, let's say, a certain testimonial, like if you have like only 2 testimonials, you have to take care of the opening and the closing bracket, and then you can actually take that out as well. Yeah, I guess I did the right thing. Yeah. So when I refresh it, I have like, I guess to have 3. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's that easy if you know the basics of these tags. It's just the repetition of the same tags and a few more things that you might need to Google, but I guess everyone can easily, uh, you know, uh, customize their own website and have all these other features as well, which is like styling, how this is actually writing resume for me. The same is for my projects as well. So these are some cool things, and there are other cool things as well, which you might find in all these templates. They are actually free for you. You can actually demo it first as well here, and they will show you how your website will look like. And yeah, I mean, all these kinds of websites, you see all these uh, these are very smooth websites, and the experience is not something that you can create from scratch. You just simply have to replace the text, and that's all. You can actually have this, this functionality of having a pop-up as well, and you don't have to do anything. You just have to replace your images, and this will work for your images as well. It's as simple as that. And yeah, I'm the website, but you can my website is quite simple as well, because I want it to be very minimalistic. But yeah, I guess yeah, that's where I stop my session. Shoot them on all ears.
Guys, if you have any other questions, you guys are free to use the chat window. Make sure the questions are relevant, because Mars doesn't like to answer questions about life. He's a little confused these days.
Yeah,
And this goes without saying, the entire session is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. In case you guys have any questions later on as well, you guys can comment over there on our Facebook page, wherever we will get those questions answered. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. I think, guys, we should wrap it up then.
yeah.
Osama says, Maz Ali, who helped you score an A in your FYP, and why Osama? That's a very
Yeah,
tough question, man.
yeah. I have to think about it. Sama, can I get back to you with an answer tomorrow, maybe?
Yes, Osama, I told you questions about life aren't allowed.
Yeah.
This is a very serious question about my life. Oh yeah, he's asking you to be his guest. All right, guys, I think.
Sama, you can actually unmute yourself as well.
No, please. Let's spare us that torture. I think we're fine without that as well. Anyway, guys, it was a great session. Hope you had different things to learn today, because people think that websites are pretty complicated. The fact of the matter is they are, but not all of them. And the main aim of today's session was to show you guys how easy it is to make your own personal websites, to upload your CV, and to upload your portfolio. So it's not really that hard. You can get a template, tinker around with the code a bit, and then every other resource is available on the internet. Like Mars is using this website, W3 School. That's a very good website to teach you all about HTML and CSS. So it's just as easy as that. And if you guys have any other questions, I think appreciations are pouring in. Wow, okay. Some love as well in the comment section. Interesting. Corona times are tough times, people. Anyway, anyway, guys, thank you so much for being in the session. And with that, I guess we will be ending the session. See you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.